Hello my friends, this is Sylvie Curry, Lady of Q, and I am in my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making a compound butter. Very basic compound butter. Simple and easy, not leave it up to me to complicate something. I'm going to be using some ingredients which are a little bit different, and the process I'm going to go through is going to be a little bit different. Let's go do this. I have my ingredients laid out for this compound butter. I'm going to be using a clarified butter, or known as ghee, and I purchased this at Costco. They have it sometimes and sometimes not, but around the holidays they had a supply and I bought it. So I've got 2 cups of ghee in this little pan. I'm going to add some rosemary. This is fresh rosemary from the bush I have out back, and also some fresh thyme I have from my garden. I took 4 cloves of garlic and minced it up, and I've got a little different ingredient. This here is an organic fennel pollen. Yep, organic fennel pollen. I'm going to see how this is going to go in this compound butter. You don't use very much. And I've got this little measuring tool, and that's a dash. So the amount of fennel pollen is a dash. The amount of my garlic is 4 cloves minced, a couple of little stalks of rosemary, and a couple little stalks of thyme. Now I'm going to put all of this into the pot at the same time on very low and let all those flavors infuse into that ghee. Why am I doing it this way? Well, major because I don't want all the flecks of the herbs and the garlic to be in my compound butter. I'm going to eventually strain it out after all those flavors have infused. I'm going to turn my stove on first to a simmer, a little less than a simmer, and I'm going to let that go there until it melts some. We're going to add the rosemary, the thyme, my fennel powder, and the garlic. I've already added the thyme, rosemary, fennel powder, and the garlic, and the ghee is starting to melt. One of the things about ghee is that it's clarified butter, so therefore all the mixed milk solids have been removed, and you can store it at room temperature. So at room temperature, because this room is actually a little warmer because it's hot outside. It's probably about 74, 75 degrees in here. So it melts a bit. However, when I get ready to make my compound butter, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, let it get solid, and then roll it up. And that all after I've strained out all the herbs and the garlic and the large pieces of leaves. I have a setting on my oven for extra low, and I can leave it there for whatever amount of time so that it'll just be a very, very gentle heat that's coming off on it. And on that extra low setting, the burners go on and off. You can see that the oil is getting hot, and we've got activity where the garlic is starting to move around and mobilize in there. So we'll just leave this alone, and when I come back to it, I'll show you what my next step is. I have a confession to make. I started filtering my mixture and not realizing that my camera wasn't on, so I actually poured it back in the pot, and so I'm going to start all over again. Anyway, this is our butter mixture, which I had on a very extra low heat for about 2 hours. Then I took it off and let it cool to room temperature. Now it's at room temperature, and I'm getting ready to filter it. I have a regular kitchen filtering system, and carefully I'm going to pour my butter mixture through that filter. And into my container. There we go. That's what's left. Now I'm going to take this butter mixture and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator until it's soft cooled. I don't want it very hard because I want to be able to put it in the parchment paper and wrap it for my compound butter. This is my compound butter. I put it in the refrigerator last night to get it to a state where I could roll it. However, I let it go too far, so I had to try to let it get a little softer on the counter this morning. And so now we're going to wrap it. Shaping out my compound butter to a size where when I get ready to use it, I can just slice off the amount that I need. The parchment paper helps in both wrapping it and getting it to a more perfect shape. In addition, it also helps for storage. Sometimes in wrapping, I guess, is a little blooper. I poked a hole, so some of my butter tried to come through. Easy fix for that, just get another piece, put it over that one. It's going to be double wrapped, but that's okay, it still works. There we have it, my compound butter wrapped, double wrapped. And I'm going to put that back in the refrigerator for it to harden. And I think maybe after it hardens up again, I'll be able to take it out of the double wrap and put it in a single wrap so it looks a little bit more perfect. My double wrapped compound butter has been in the refrigerator and it's hardened a bit. So I'm going to attempt to repackage it. Turn it that way. And that worked out very well. Our compound butter made up of clarified butter, where I took the rosemary, thyme, and garlic, and I infused it in that compound butter over a very, very low heat. Then I strained off the solid ingredients, that being the rosemary, the thyme, and the garlic. And I had my butter that I put in the refrigerator to chill. And then once it was in a state where I could roll it in the parchment paper for storage, I did that. Our original wrapping, I tore the paper and the butter was quite soft at that point in time. So I had to put it back in the refrigerator, and then this is my rewrap.